Yo, what's going on? What's going on, y'all? I won't be doing as many of questions. This is damn near like a bully rant, I guess. Um, been working hard and things. What's going on? What's going on, y'all? Things have been going pretty good, besides this cut over my eye, but shit happens, Man, a door beat me up this time, so, I'm trying to go through all these things, and look, like I said, man, and the thing is gonna go fast, and these messages gonna go fast, and all this stuff, man. I'm just trying to get through this thing about the Tbkc or whatever. I got several screens going on here on YouTube and on a couple of the different pages, so that's why I'm not ignoring anybody. It's just I'm all over the place. What's up, y'all? I can't even I'm gonna give up on messages for a minute, but this is it, and I'll give y'all a nutshell of what to expect. A lot of people have believed that the Tbkc is D-line. A lot of people have believed that we were going to go back and forth. And some people ask, why did I start the Tbkc and why? And I'm just going to tell y'all, it's like this. People know what I do. People know how I talk. It's been years. It's been years. And at the end of the day, what it boils down to is this, is that I sat back for years. I told people way back when it was Dax and it was Miyagi and those things that, these dogs would come along and these dogs would cause some trouble. Cause trouble in many different ways because, they weren't being regulated and they obviously weren't American bullies, and the whole extreme thing was going to the next level. And and I mean, you go back years and I told you I was going to be a separation and the breed was going to split and all these good things. And it's what happened, And so in order to do something about it, that's what, eventually that's what the Tbkc became about, I think, as far as the infrastructure of the Tbkc, we off to a good start. We got a lot of good things going on. And I've been sitting back and I've been watching people argue on Facebook. Some of my friends argue on Facebook about dumb shit. I'm going to tell y'all like this. In reference to what is the American bully is made out of. With no pride and no bullshit. The American bully is quite possibly up to 10 different dogs. Now, was it supposed to be that? No. These people don't ever want to say it. I'm going to be 100% honest with y'all. Have I ever mixed a bulldog or any type of dog in the couple decades I've been around? Absolutely not. But have other people done it? Yes. Amongst the dogs that I pretty much know have probably been mixed in because of some of the traits and because of some of the stories is, the oldie has been used. The, Frenchie has definitely been used. The English has been used. The American Bulldog has been used. The Alapaha has been used, there's even stories that the Rottweiler has been used at times. Now, this is where, I know it's like, oh, no, I'm not dropping some big bomb on y'all that this dog is. It was never supposed to be that. It was never supposed to be that. And the thing about it is that you have everybody who wants to have their opinion and everybody wants to argue about it. And sometimes they get adamant about it. But at the end of the day, sometimes saying that I don't know is the easiest way to go. And do I know a lot about these dogs? Yes, I do. But do I know everything about these dogs? Absolutely not. And I don't think we put everything into perspective sometimes. The truth of the matter is this. is that yes, it probably is, 8 to 10 breeds that have been mixed into this dog. But you have to think about this. There have been thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of breedings. Man, exactly, Tommy. The kinks and the undershot only come from the bulldog. I mean, it's amazing, man. It's amazing. I mean, really, it's not start all over. It's follow rules, And what's going on here is that Sarah crazy. What what's going on here is simple, We're gonna follow rules, something that has never been done in the American bully community. It's not my job to respect the fact that somebody cheated. In regards to people hitting me up and talking about Miyagi all the time and talking about, this dog should be added and that's unfair and this is unfair and that's unfair. It's unfair to people who bought into dogs that obviously didn't fit the standard. Yes, we know that. No, I don't care if a dog that is on the ban list is back 10 generations. The dog is banned. We are going to follow those rules. The dogs are banned. They are banned for a reason. And that's it. I'm not going to ever pick a nice American bully or a dog that fits our standard or a nice Rottweiler because, yes, the Rottweiler can be banned at certain parts. If it's a dog that is impugning on the integrity of the standard, it will be banned. And that's because we follow rules here. And the thing what's going on, dog lover, but the thing of it is that, our community has to change their mindset. Our community has to stop this Hollywood ass, everybody has an opinion bullshit and get back to dogs. It's not about your opinion. I mean, it's Monday, so I don't feel bad about being, my usual foul language self on a Sunday. But at the end of the day, it's fuck your opinion. This is not about your opinion. This is not about what you think it should be. This is not about your excuses on, yeah, they used this dog and I remember this dog. And even with my friends, I'm just telling everybody, cut the bullshit, man. I don't give a fuck about a bulldog that was mixed in 20 years ago. I don't care about what Dave Wilson was doing in his yard. I don't care about such and such in California who did this. I don't care about Ed Shepherd who did this. I don't care about the other clowns who mixed this and mixed that. I am not looking for any kind of certification, verification, or whatever from any of those people. They cheated, and if they hung papers, they were wrong for doing it, and that's the end of the story. That doesn't have anything to do with this registry. We are going to follow the rules. We are not going to conform to people who cheat and try to fuck up our breeds. We are not going to conform to that. So what I'm telling y'all at this point in time, and it goes the same with me, I'm not talking about what happened 20 years ago, because at the bottom line of it, anytime that you hear the only two bloods that are banned right now are Miyagi and Bullseye, and for good reason. Honestly, it's for good reason. I feel sorry in a way for people who have those dogs that can't, you can still participate in any physical activities that you want. The confirmation ring, no. And what I've said, and many a times, hey, Tommy, damn it, that shark line. But, we are here to do this right, It's not about picking on anybody. It's about, y'all be honest with yourselves. If you look at Mr. Miyagi, does he look like what an American bully is really supposed to look like? So if you look at Bullseye, does he look like really what an American bully is supposed to look like? Anybody with any good damn sense is going to say, no, they don't. They look like a different breed. So why would you push them into a breed? That's stupid. That's asinine. No other breed does this but us. No other breed argues dumb shit but us. Yes, I guarantee you, if you look into I've heard the rumors. If you look into Rottweilers, they will tell you certain other dogs, some breeders were adding certain types of Mastiff and doing different shit to get their dogs to be real big. And this, that, and the other. The thing about it is that, okay, I'll address that too. Of course, you say, is Toad Line? Toad Line is not on the list because Toad Line at this point in time is not just one dog. We banned a dog. We didn't ban a line. So if your dog comes in, this is the question to answer everybody else's thing. If you bring a dog in that generally looks like a toad line dog, it doesn't have to be on the ban list because it doesn't meet conformation and it'll be a violation of our American Bully standards, and the paperwork would be pulled if that dog was there. It's just that simple. You know, we're going to do it like every other breed does it. We're going to follow the rules. If we see something that is obviously not what it's supposed to be, we have the right to pull the papers on it. This is normal dog activity. This is not something that I just went into a bubble and created. This is the way it works everywhere else in the dog community. If you go to an AKC show and one of their officials see your dog and it is a total violation of their standards, they make sure that your papers are pulled and you do not participate anymore. So we will be doing the same thing. If you bring in a dog that's 12 inches, bug-eyed, and look like a pug, his ass will be kicked out. The papers will be pulled, and you'll probably be regular flagged on that. The reason when this standard, and we plan on getting the standards out this week, you know, some of the other breeds, their standards is exactly as it is other places. And, you know, the American Bully has some differences, but all we asking you to do is follow rules. If you don't have the ability to follow rules as an adult, then you probably don't. This is not the registry for you. This is the one thing I'm keep telling y'all. Under no, what's going on, Big Val? Under no circumstances are we in negotiations. We're not in negotiations. The American Bully is the American Bully. Our job with this registry, my job as right now, the head of this registry, is to protect the integrity of the breed. I don't care about people's feelings. I'm not, I know y'all see me play around a lot in D-line. D-line and the Tbkc are two totally different things. As far as this registry go, it's going to be taken seriously. We're not going to be changing rules for people who don't have their feelings hurt. We're not going to be doing all of these other things. Right now, these first 2 years are going to be on a mission to find the dogs that don't fit the American Bully standard, weed out that bullshit, and get the real dogs in the ring and start making our breed something that can be respected all around. If you don't respect that, I guarantee you there's a registry for you because they've been allowing bullshit for years. But it comes to a point where our dogs deserve better. Real dogs deserve better. The best dogs that fit the true American Bully standard and the breeders who are breeding towards that to represent our breed deserve better. We don't, the true breeders who have been following the standard for years and not cheating and not doing all the other shit that y'all always want to bring up to validate the nonsense that y'all doing deserve the respect and deserve a registry that is going to fight for them. And the way I've seen it over the last, especially 6 years, 7 years, when that era of Dax and Miyagi came in, for sure, we've seen everybody in the American Bully community, any kind of way that's had a little bit of power, try to disrespect what started this thing. And what started this thing was very nice dogs, clean dogs, dogs that could move, dogs that could breathe, tight skin, big cheeks. Basically where it started from, a pit bull on steroids type of mentality, not a bulldog mix, not, oh, it could be a bulldog, not, oh yeah, we can, it might have a kink tail, it might have an underbite. No, and if you can't follow these rules, then go. Nobody's going to negotiate these things with y'all over and over again. Have some fucking integrity. You don't go to every other registry and try to say, oh, well, I'm just going to change the Rottweiler today. He'll have a white chest. No, sir, you're going to get your ass the fuck out of here. And that's the same way we going to play it. When you start to do these different things and you want to do things differently, well, you go ahead and you do whatever you want to do. We don't need you. We don't want you. Our dogs will be clean. Our dogs will be healthy, and our dogs will fit the standard. We want a real dog. Right now, the registration has settled in at $25. Y'all see when you get the paperwork, you'll see it's a little different. We're putting a lot of extra work into it. We doing a lot of things, you know. We doing a lot of things, you know. And everything we trying to do is push towards making the breed better. You know, I mean, we trying to do everything signature and take it to another level. So we're not going over $25, but right now that's where it's at, and it's probably gonna stay there. The only direction it will go is down, and negotiations for that aren't going so well. So it'll be $25 and it'll stay there, and you know that's more than enough for the thing to run on its own. You know, but I mean the things that we're doing with Andrea, what's up, girl? But the things we are doing Hey, what's going on, Jacob? I'm starting to see some messages. The things that we are doing is just this. I mean, we can do pedigrees to go back as far as we want to. We're building a real database. It can go back forever. We will have the ability to go and print the gigantic pedigrees and all that stuff. We'll be able to do that. That's why the registry itself is taking so long, because we are building our own database. We're not using anybody else's database. We're going to have a very nice, strong, database. And everything about our registry, I don't want to tell it all, but it'll be different. We'll have a lot. What's going on, Wayne? Ron? We have to, but in these breeds, and I speak a lot about the American Bully, but don't think that any other breed gets a pass. If we have to red flag an Alapaha, their asses will be red flag too. French Bulldogs, they will be red flag too. Or the Frenchy Bull, as we call them. But the English Bull, same thing. Everybody is going to follow rules. We are trying to make Rolls Royces, people. I'm saying that, and I'm trying to be as honest with y'all. I know it sounds funny or whatever, but we are trying to elevate our dogs to be on the level where we can go anywhere in the world and compete. And the shenanigans, using one of my grandma's terms, hey, Belinda, one of my grandma's terms is just this. You know what I mean? The shenanigans that have been going on in our community is ridiculous. And the things that we allow are ridiculous. The shit that we see in our community never goes on anywhere else in the world. You might have some politics with other registries, but you don't see just a train wreck dog running around with blue ribbons. You don't see a person just come in one day and, oh, Andrea, I had a fight with the door. Well, it was cut, sometimes the eye thing. I get sometimes, in like my little fight training or whatever, you get an accidental headbutt or something. And I've cut both eyes a couple times, and actually got punched in the eye before and it got cut too. But yeah, it's easy for them to get cut now, So I got bumped by the door, and this one, whereas this side, the camera is opposite. But yeah, it's split open about 1 inch to 1.5 inches. So I'm used to the process. A little bit of glue and then cover it up and let it hold overnight. And usually it's about scabbed up in the next day. Damn shame you know how to operate on yourself, but typically doesn't make a big scar or anything. Not when it's that small of a cut. Andrew, don't cut a bitch. Cut the door. But yeah, this time it was already sort of cut, and then I just bumped the door a little bit, and it was like, but that's what happens when you do it enough. The scar tissue will open right back up. So, and yeah, this eye has been done a couple times under here, and this one, this one has been cut a few times when I used to fight. So I'm used to it. It don't even hurt no more, unfortunately. But with our dogs, we had Taylor whoop my ass. Oh shit, not her. We just have to be better, man. We have to be better, every way possible, And it's not like our community is gonna be some stuck up, fucked up thing. But in the ring, we have to take it seriously, and y'all will notice more and more and more, Yeah, Tommy, we're gonna make a nice veterinarians list, and of course, it'll take time to build it up. And I plan on in the future doing a rating list on veterinarians, so that people will have the opportunity to rate the veterinarians on how they treat our dogs. Because I know some veterinarians are great with our dogs, and other veterinarians will screw us over because they think that all our dogs should be fixed. I ran into that a few times myself, where I pretty much was like, damn, dog, you gonna really do me like that? But it happens. But it's a lot, it's a lot. At Tbkc, we'll have a virtual magazine, Tbkc will have a lot of instructional videos. Tbkc will have, a lot of studies. And when I mean studies, we'll do necropsies on dogs that have died. We'll do studies on randomly pulling semen to see the actual count of some of the best dogs that volunteer for it, and what is the difference between the breeds, because we do, consider the pocket its own breed, which it'll eventually go to being its own breed, where you can't mix it. That's not the case right now. If you have pockets and standards, you can still go back and forth, but we're trying to lock in those traits. And you know, we want to educate. Now, I will tell y'all this, because this has been a raging debate, and this was one of the reasons why I jumped on here. And I'm only going to be on here for about another 10 minutes. Oh, Jacob, yeah, this magazine will be available everywhere, and it'll be available everywhere very, very, very fast. You know, I'll just tell you that. I won't give up all my secrets, but the magazine will be available. And guess what? You don't even have to really pay for it. It's very, very cheap. So it's going to be pretty cool, though, when you check it out. It's going to be very cool. But this Bulldog talk. First of all, like I told y'all, we see everybody get on here. We saw John and John argue. We saw Bobby and John go back and forth about the Bulldog talk, the Bulldog talk, the Bulldog talk. I've seen other people get into these debates. I used to get into them, but I gave that shit up because it's very mind-numbing. Let me tell you, this is my take on this shit, and I'm going to tell y'all this without going too long. Check it out. I'm going to mess up your name. Mohamed, hello. I'm pretty sure I messed your name up, but I think you know what I'm talking about. How you doing? But I'll tell you this. Don't believe anybody when they get to talking about these, what did they know so much about everything that happened with the American bully community. You have to put this into a true perspective. There were millions, I mean, not millions, but there were thousands of breeders, literally thousands of breeders over the years of American bullies. You know, tons on the West Coast, you know, all over the world now. So if anybody tells you that they know exactly what's in every dog, they're lying. We don't even know what's exactly in Dave Wilson's dogs. We don't know, you know, that I can't tell you that. Me and Dave were friends for years. I've been out to his house for years. I've been around for a long time. Before I even met Dave, I knew about his dogs, and I watched his dogs and this, that, and the other, you know, come up and different things. And I've you know, I've met Rich many a times, and, you know, a lot of the Gotti line clique, a bunch of good guys over there. But I can't tell you that I know what went on in their yards. I don't know. I can't tell you what I know went on in their yards. I'm not going to lie to you and sit here and let my pride take over these interviews and tell y'all, oh, yeah, I can tell you that this was in this, and I can tell you that was in that, and I can tell you this was in this. Because to be truthful, the reality of the fact is the breeders who cheated didn't run around with billboards and tell everybody they cheated. It was always an assumption, and we know about assumptions, you can make an ass out of yourself. So what I hear y'all do, and I'm about to show y'all how easily shit can be debunked sometimes. Well, we have people like my man Shark Line. Where did the kink tail come from? Where did the kink tail come from? First of all, every breed has a kink tail. Now, amongst the many things that could happen with a kink tail and what y'all call quote unquote bulldog traits are, look up dwarfism and look up gigantism. In both of these syndromes, which gigantism makes the dog bigger, of course. Dwarfism brings the dog down. Well, some of the traits, listen to these traits and tell me, does these sound like any of the dogs that y'all see today? Amongst these traits that you see in dwarfism are this: excessive bone size, irregularly large heads with a hard stop. This is a dog thing. One testicle, shortened or disformed tails, undershot bite, the term of what we call easty-westy feet. Interesting. But I thought those were all bulldog traits. But medical terms say that they could also be dwarfism traits. Now let's take it to another scenario. Considering that we know that certain dogs were paper hung, and considering that we know that in our breed certain dogs like Remy bred 16 times. You know, we got 16 times Remy. We got 24 times Cairo. We got 32 times Short Shot. We got, you know, 100 times Monster G, 100 times Gotti. So then, yes, the short limbs is also a definite dwarfism trait. And the gigantism is the same way. It's just the opposite end of the spectrum. But because of this, one of the main causes for dwarfism in the canine community is a heavy amount of inbreeding. So let me tell you this. Inbreeding is not just mother to son, or, you know, father to daughter, or littermate siblings. Inbreeding is a term that can also be lined up when any blood gets too close. So considering that in the Razor's Edge line, especially Cairo, was used excessively and bred back to itself excessively, the gene pool was very tiny, and these mutations of sort were highly probable to happen. Now, the funniest part is a lot of y'all ask the question, why does Razor's Edge dogs get kinks? Why does Razor's Edge dog get kinks? Dave has came out and admitted to y'all that he bred the shit out of certain dogs, and they went back to each other over and over again because, as he said, he was trying to lock in a look. Well, and this is not to try to tear Dave down or any other breeder down, because a lot of us have done it over the years. But what if you were trying to lock in certain traits? Like you had a dog that comes, and this happens, so don't y'all ever let anybody tell you. I've interviewed game dog breeders and I've interviewed Rottweiler breeders. You can have two dogs that say, just for shits and giggles, we'll say two dogs that are a 75-pounder and an 85-pounder, and you breed these dogs together, and you can come up with a 45-pound dog. Or on the other end of the spectrum, you can come up with a 110-pound dog, and you don't know what happens there, but this is breeding. Sometimes it pulls from somewhere else, and you wonder how this happens, but sometimes it might be that the one dog that was 75 pounds had a gene in there, or might have had a grandfather that was a 110-pound dog, and, you know, he just didn't have the 110-pound dog. I mean, he just didn't have that type of appearance. That's the 85-pound male. The 75-pound female might have had a grandfather or grandmother that had excessive size. Now, when these genetics come together, you double up on that gene, and now you might have one or two puppies that come out like their grandparents did. Genetics don't work with, you hear the terms, I washed it out. No, you didn't wash anything out. You got lucky enough that it didn't come back up. But even if you take something that's 8 generations back, if you're a skilled breeder, it'll take you some time. But if you keep line breeding towards a certain trait, that trait is eventually going to show its ugly face. It's going to show its face again. That's why in certain breeds that have become more refined, they just eliminate those genes. Do you understand? You know, to have Rottweilers that are solid black with no white, you can't add a dog that has white into it. You just can't. Eventually it comes back. But, you know, back to the American Bully, the funniest thing is that you have two different situations. You have two different lifestyles. You have some dogs that were bred incorrectly, and they came up with certain flaws. And then you have other dogs where people obviously cheated. You know, but one thing I will tell y'all about this theory, and I've said this a million times, and when all these guys come up with this theory is that this is what they want you to do. They want you to believe that back, say, let's say 20 years ago, when these guys were breeding, these guys who could barely keep a secret at all in life about anything were skilled enough to take a bulldog, hide out in the closet, you know, had a bulldog do his thing. Then somehow, by the time the puppies were 8 weeks old, they figured out that these puppies might be too bully, and they got rid of them. And they had the dogs that turned out to be perfect American bullies, and those are what they kept. This is what they want you to believe. Because no matter what they say about all their theories about the American Bully and who did this and who did what, man, we've all had puppies. We've all seen puppies. It's hard to tell what a puppy is going to be coming out to be. So if you take a picture of your puppies at 8 weeks old and you're like, yeah, this one could be this one could be that. Why didn't none of those puppies that were documented early turn into straight bulldogs? Why? And a lot of them were sold. So why weren't people just running around with dogs that look like Miyagi and Dax and all these dogs 15, 20 years ago? Now they come with this other theory that's totally asinine. Well, you wasn't breeding towards the gene back then. Over the years, we pulled that bulldog that they put back up to the front. Okay, think about this. Think about what you just said. And me and Bobby just talked about that. You know, look. Damn it. Think about what these people say, because y'all heard, I know y'all done heard that term before. Oh, we pulled them genes to the front. Well, damn it. Don't you think it was at the front when you mixed the bulldog? The bulldog was his daddy. How much more front do you get? That's what you're saying. It was the bulldog was his daddy, but nowadays we didn't breed it so good that we brought it back. How in the hell did you breed it out with his daddy, but you brought it back 20 years later. See, that's only some American bully shit that only American bully people would try to throw that dumb shit in there. You know, my son ain't gonna look like me today, but you know, in 4 or 5 generations, my grandson just gonna look like me. That's just dumb shit. I've told y'all many a times. There was bulldogs. I had some questionable dogs back in the day that I looked at, you know, that I was like, But what you can always see is that things changed in 2008-ish. You know, the Pocket was the hottest dog in the world. And at that point in time, what you had is, what most people didn't know is most of the Pockets were dwarfs. And when you inbred, a lot of trying to get those dwarfs and trying to keep those dwarf traits, what happened is a lot of the dogs were going sterile. That became a problem. Next thing you know, we had the influx of mixing, and it was obvious. Look at go on Bullypedia and just look through pedigrees or whatever, you know, site you use. Look through pedigrees and look at the dogs that are born around 2007, 2008, and look how much their look changed from the dogs that came 5 years before them. It was a money thing. People got crazy. And the thing of it is, and what happened the most is this, is that people never cared about anything but the money. And when I say people, I'm talking about the registries. The registries never said, I want to put a stop to it. It was obvious. Dax didn't look like anything that came before him, and he didn't look like anything that was supposed to be an American bully. Miyagi damn sure didn't look like anything that was supposed to be an American bully. But we allowed this because it was cool. And at that time, the registry took the moral high ground. We're never going to take it. But then money come into effect and we have to take it. And this is what I tell you. I am not the Tbkc. I will not go back on my word. Miyagi dogs are not allowed. More than likely, the tow lines will get banned too. All of the dogs that don't fit what the breed standard is supposed to be will be banned. I'm not going to argue with you. I'm just going to tell you that's the way it is. If you want to call me a ugly black son of a bitch or whatever you want to do, have a good time. But the damn dog still's not getting in. It's just that way. The only way that this breed can be taken seriously is if we start to refine and re-educate. If we actually learn about the dwarfism genes, the Down syndrome genes, the results of inbreeding, the results of all of these different things, then we can become excellent breeders. See, y'all don't I mean, now I'm not saying, when I say y'all, please don't be offended. I'm just talking to the general public. But the thing of this is this is a science. This is a science. In my own yard, I had people make fun of me all the time. Y'all see it. Oh, he hasn't made a dog. Oh, I had one dickhead put up the other day and tag me. Oh, this is a real dog since you ain't had a dog. The dog had a weak rear. And they forget, I got Mandela. When y'all come to Rhode Island in March, y'all will see. I'm not bragging. I'm not boasting. I don't take good pictures of Mandela. Most of what y'all seen of Mandela, he was actually still a puppy. I just randomly put up pictures from different time spans to put it up and say this is Mandela. I put Mandela on the scale the other day. This is what I promise y'all. Honest to truth, no bullshit. I put my word on it. You come to Rhode Island, Mandela is a short dog. People who've seen him think he's who haven't seen him think he's tall because of the pictures I take. It's all about angles. You know what I mean? When I take those pictures, when I take his pictures, I get down at his level and sometimes shoot up at him. He looks bigger than what he is. Mandela is still basically a pocket. The dog is 100 pounds. The dog has a 26-inch head. The dog has a beautiful top line. The dog still has nice paws, straight fronts. A little bit too much skin, but not like wrinkly skin that he would be pointed for. But for me, I like that. You know, I like the God rest her soul, Joan Rivers. I like that. Just pull me back. I like that tight skin. He doesn't have the tight skin that I want. The other thing about Mandela that I say, in my opinion, he's slightly cowhawked. I look at his rear end movement and it's good, but it's not what I would want. I like them babies straight, boom, 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 ahead. To me, he slants in a little. You know, it's not something horrible, like train wreck horrible, but we have, you know, levels to this shit. I break down Denzel. I break down any of my dogs, and I'm honest like that. But the point I'm getting at is that I've had dogs over the years recently champ out UKC, AKC. I've got dogs that champed out RKC, ABKC. I've not AKC when I said the first time, it was ABKC then too. But I've had dogs champ out every single year. But you know what those are? Those are experiment dogs to me. It's different little things that I do believe Miyagi has Down syndrome. But it's different little things to me that need to be done. My registry will reflect the way I breed because I'm very patient. I don't think that my dogs are where they're supposed to be. When y'all see Mandela in Rhode Island, I guarantee you some people going to fall out their seats and they're going to love him to death because when people see him, they go crazy. Everybody who sees him goes crazy about the dog. They love the dog, but he's not what I'm shooting for. And the reason why he's not what I'm shooting for is the little things that I told you. If you give me Mandela, what I would do to him, 26-inch head, it's nice. You know, chest could be wider. You know, skin tighter. You know, I would like perfect movement and perfect structure on the rear end, and he's not perfect. This is the same way that I want people in my registry to think, is that we are shooting for excellence. We're not trying to lower the bar. We stepping the bar up. Y'all will see, I'm not just talking, but they be like, why don't you brag on this dog more? When I take the dog out, the dog literally stops traffic. You know, he's my pet. I'm using him as a part of the breeding program and everything, but I'm not satisfied with him. I don't want an award. I don't want a trophy with something that I don't feel like is excellence. This is what this registry is about. It's about us as breeders getting enough knowledge to make excellent American bullies that represent the breed the way it's supposed to be represented. In our registry, there will be no lowering the bar. You can't come in with a kink tail. You can't come in with a short tail. You can't come in with horrible bites. You can't come in with super loose feet because our judges will be looking for these things. And it's not to be mean or nasty to you. It is to perfect our breed. We no longer want to be a junkyard breed to where you can be allowed to do anything you want and we're going to make concessions. No, you can't bring in a damn French bulldog and call it an American bully. You can't crop an English bulldog's ear and call it an American bully. If your dog is fat and overweight, you will not win the show. If your dog is too thin, you will not win the show. If your dog has any of these issues, you will not win the show. Not to say you were kicked out of the registry, but we are looking for the best of the best. And if you can't be the best of the best, you need to come back as the best of the best next time, or we will not put that stamp of approval on there. Because at the end of the day, that ribbon has to mean something. When you take that blue ribbon home, it has to stand for something. If I hand out ribbons to each and every dog and these dogs are not what they're supposed to be and don't perform like they're supposed to, then I've lowered the standard not only of the registry, but those who believe in the registry. This is why things will be different. This is why I'm not going to negotiate on certain dogs. Lucky Luciano, I like his front. To me, his back is too long, and he does this weird thing when he's moving. It's like he almost, I don't know, it looks like he's trying to crawl or some shit. I don't know. He sort of lowers his body. You know what I mean? Of course, the little scar is an issue there. But, you know, to me, I mean, to be honest with you, and this is not to insult Lucky or nothing like that, but in our registry, he wouldn't be a champion. You know, he wouldn't be a champion. Much love, Ronnie. I'm dying over here. But at the end of the day, what do you have to ask yourself, what do you stand for? Are you trying to get a pat on the back, or are you trying to make a better dog? Are you trying to be a dog celebrity, or are you trying to make a better dog? Are you trying to be more knowledgeable about the breed and find out the little things that make breeds better? Or are you trying to just be right and have somebody pat you on the back and tell you how great you are? Because that's your decision that you have to make. I don't care about your money. I don't care about what you can bring to the registry as far as people and those things. What I do care about is, can you bring your heart and can you bring passion to this breed? Because the American bully needs heart and passion more than anything else in the world right now, because it's been the most disrespected breed. We got the breeders who actually do have knowledge. They so busy arguing about bulldogs being in the damn dogs every day that they ain't even educating. And what does that sound like? You know, and this is not just to my homies, but this is to anybody who's out there right now. Y'all arguing so much about what happened 20 years ago, and y'all always talk about this dog is in there and that dog is in, and this dog. I agree, a lot of those dogs are in there, but what are you teaching the person who just came in here last week? So now when you have other clowns that talk about I mixed the bulldog in, yeah, or my dog is a bulldog because of this or that, or all this other bullshit, even the good breeders are inadvertently, you know what I'm saying, giving a round of applause to these guys who are trying to cheat the game. No. The worst part about these conversations of bulldog and all the conspiracy theories about what happened to the bulldog is what y'all forget to tell people every time y'all open y'all mouths about this stuff and y'all get to talking to conspiracy theories about the breeds is that the majority of the breeders weren't on that bullshit. I know I never have mixed a bulldog. I know Oscar Gomez is off the charts against bulldogs. I know Carlton Pratt is against trying to mix any kind of dog in there. I know many of good breeders who would tell you in no way, shape, or form, Danny Navoa, you know, all around the board, would I have ever touched a bulldog. So at the end of the day, when you start talking to all this bulldog talk and start talking about certain flaws should be allowed because of the bulldog and this, that, and the other, you discredit a lot of people who worked their ass off for this breed and did things the right way for a couple decades. What you've done is you shine a spotlight on cheaters, manipulators, greedy puppy mill fucks, and you said to hell with the people who actually worked, did the right thing, and did use pit bulls. Because don't forget, a lot of people's original stock was UKC show dogs. Everybody didn't go and dibble and dabble and look for other stuff. And these theories that these dogs couldn't have been this way by selective breeding is totally asinine. If you talk to game dog breeders, if you talk to UKC people, I've talked to a lot of them, they'll tell you, yeah, we had dogs that came out too big, too heavy, sort of what y'all would call American bullies, and we would go ahead and fix them and pet home them because they didn't fit our standard. See, unbeknownst to the rest of the American bully world, but certain other places where people have other dogs, they actually do selective breeding. Their selection was to maintain their standard. The dogs that they kicked out are the dogs that we chose to use. Now you telling me that because this dog was a UKC show dog kid and he came out too big for the breed, now he goes somewhere else, you think that his genes is just what his parents were that was showing in the UKC? No, his genes are bigger because he's bigger. So if I take this bigger dog that came, and he might have gigantism, or he might be a dwarf if he's small, or he might just be a little bit oversized. His genetic profile says that he's a big boy. So he's probably going to throw big boy puppies. Now, if I take Big Bertha over here, the bitch that came out too big, and I breed her to him, I've just doubled up on a gene that made mass. Now, in their original state of what these dogs were, they were accidents in their own breed. They were too big for their own standards, so they got dismissed. But as my breeding tools for my breed, which I want a bigger dog, now they become assets because their genetic profile says that they are supposed to be bigger. And if that gene is doubled up on and held tight and manifested into what it's supposed to be, I just made a bigger bone dog, bigger head dog, heavier dog out of dogs that it really does not look exactly alike, which is his parents. This is natural. And this is hard work. Now, in that breeding, will all the dogs be big? No, some of those genes are going to go back to its original state. But those bigger dogs, it's going to happen. It's going to continue to happen. And the more you put that in the genetic profile, it continues to happen. If you want a certain head shape, if you keep on going for this head shape, more pronounced head, more pronounced head, more pronounced head, you're going to end up with a ton of heads. It's the same thing with the rears. It's the same thing with the shoulders. It's the same thing with the kink tails, the bad bite, the easty-westy feet, the high rear. The genetics that you choose as a breeder, if you want to call yourself that, is what you'll have in your line. I'm just here to speak up for real breeders. And people who put in work. And people who care about what we do. Not everybody cheated. Don't believe that. A lot of people put hard work, energy, and just a magnificent effort into these dogs. A lot of people care about the American bully and are not trying to just do shit for shits and giggles. A lot of people did do it the right way. Yeah, you're going to get some big ones and some small ones when you do a breeding like that. But at the end of the day, if you continuously just breed the big ones, you'll end up with all big dogs. It's just the way genetics work. You keep on doubling up on it, doubling up on it, doubling up on it. It'll do it. It'll do it for you. This is the way believe it or not, this is not a theory that has not been tested. This actually has been the way that every dog has been ever made. You know, unless you're talking about a wolf. Excuse me, but this is the way every dog is made. It's the way they did with the German Shepherds. It's the way they did with the Dobermans. Shit, right now, you know, we got Labradoodles, and Labradoodles is doing their little thing. You know, every dog has been made by you picking the characteristics that you want to visually see and breeding that to another dog that has the characteristics that you want to visibly see. Because as a breeder, without doing these state-of-the-art tests, we don't know what's behind genetics, but we know what we see. You can keep on enhancing this and enhancing it or dropping it down. And the thing about it is you often don't know the root of what's making these things happen, and that changes the game up. Because like we know in the pockets, see, a lot of pockets were just dwarfs. So what did we do? We bred dwarfs to dwarfs. I told y'all before, Marco Suarez had a bitch. I think her name was Paquita. It was Paquita, and there was another one. But anyway, these dogs got so little, they looked like puppies, and they was a year old. And they was literally looking like puppies. They wasn't even 30 pounds. Little as shit. Might have been Bamboo and Paquita. But these dogs, but they never turned out to be anything because they were so small they couldn't even be bred. But he didn't go and cheat anything. He just bred a certain gene that allowed his dogs to get smaller and smaller and smaller. Now, what that gene was, you know, but I think it was too much Cairo. I missed that question about classes, you know, but we're going to have classes to help people, and we're going to have all that. I've actually already reached out to several handlers, you know. It definitely takes patience and a ton of discipline, you know, a ton, my brother. But, you know, I've reached out to people to help us in every way possible. I mean, doctors, professional handlers. Y'all even gonna get an opportunity at some of my shows where I'm bringing in farmers who breed cattle. And you get a chance to, and we're gonna sit down and we're gonna hear what they say about breeding cattle. Because knowledge is power. If we learn how to breed our dogs, if we learn how to do the right thing throughout animals, Andrea, I'm just seeing some of your stuff come up, you know, later. But yeah, large hearts and a lot of other issues come along with dwarfism. This is why our dogs are going to be taller. I know some people are not going to agree with it. This is the one decision that I made. What's going on, Sean? This is the one decision that I made to make sure that I impact our breed. And it has to impact our breed. I don't want short dogs. And what I mean by short is 14 inches is the bottom, but it's undesired in our males. 15 inches is the goal. 15 to 18 inches is where I'm sticking to. Some people have tried to talk me out of it, but if you're measuring your dog correctly, most dogs that say they 16 inches is really 17 and a half, and, you know, go on and on and on, because everybody wants a short dog. But if y'all ask me why did I want to bring the height up, it's one reason and one reason only, is because I feel like that a lot of the genetics to make our dogs shorter, yeah, I'll try to get that to you, Rob, too. A lot of the messages are coming up, I know, 5-6 minutes later or something like that. But, you know, inbox me if y'all have any questions. And, you know, that's my mission for this week, is to catch up on all messages. But, you know, man, I done talked y'all ears off. And the one thing I'll say is, man, we have to do better. You know, we are a community that's beat down with dwarfism, mixed dogs, Down syndrome, you know, the people just fucked up in the head, loco. And we have to do better. We have to re-educate ourselves. We have to go back to making better dogs. And that's what the Tbkc is about. You know, we are going to be a very strict registry, and I know some people are going to have their lip hanging, and but it won't change. No dogs with kinks will ever win a show. It's a disqualification, you know. If you bring in a 13-inch dog, that's a disqualification. It's just that simple. Actually, you know, it don't get no realer than that. We want the best of the best, and we want to be able to represent ourselves as a high-level registry. And it only works like that by following your own standard. Man, exactly. You know, Tommy's talking about the millions of sperm is like playing the lotto. That's what it is, man. But it's methods to this and it's ways to perfect it. And I'm always motivated by the people who have perfected other breeds. And that's my mission as a, as I set out in my own kennel. And with the Tbkc is to help people perfect this breed. We're not going to win everybody's hearts, and we don't care because some people are here for the wrong reasons, so we don't want any parts of the black heart. But at the end of the day, we do want to make better, and we want to make a better community, and we want to make a better dog. The most important thing, a better dog, period. But with that being said, man, this week we're going to get back into the Tbkc radio. The website, like, some people just want to see a site there. It will be up, but it's going to have a coming soon thing on there. And I'll be doing pre-orders for the Tbkc t-shirts, and I'll show y'all what the designs look like. Probably Wednesday or Thursday we'll do the pre-orders because I know my inbox been blowing up about them shirts. They are about to be headed to the press, so we'll be doing the pre-orders for that. And hopefully by the weekend I'll be updating y'all too on some of the shows and barbecues. I've literally this week stayed up all night talking to some guys in the Midwest about shows. Last night we stayed up all night talking about the Standard. Florida shows are coming fast. North Carolina coming fast. Minneapolis, that's pretty much set. I mean, it shows all over. Italy, y'all coming soon. The Philippines on lock. It's things are coming. Things are coming fast. But my main thing is quality on the things that are coming fast. But check me out tomorrow, man. We probably be live again. We probably gonna do a live, and we just with some topics or whatever, and we gonna see what's what. Try to get somebody on the Facebook Live and do an interview. But we want to start pushing our breed in a positive way. Y'all gonna notice I'm backing up off the Tbkc. I'm backing up off of Dave Wilson and all those people. I still feel the same way about them, but it's time for us to turn the page. And I don't think that we can make our breed what it needs to be by sticking on people that we know aren't worth a damn. You know what I mean? If you keep going to the gutter, ain't no way you can get clean. And we trying to get clean with our registry, the dogs, and the whole thing. So y'all notice more and more we just going to be focusing on doing what we do. And the best way to prevail is to show people that you can do things the right way. And that's my intentions. But until next time, y'all, God bless, man. And keep it bully, I guess. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.